The courtroom went dead silent. The second Vanessa Holloway laughed in Judge Judy's face. Not a nervous laugh, not an awkward laugh, a cruel one. The kind of laugh people use when they think they're untouchable. "You can't seriously believe this, man," Vanessa said, crossing her diamond-covered arms while staring at the old mechanic beside her. "Look at him!" A few people in the audience shifted uncomfortably. The mechanic lowered his eyes. Judge Judy didn't blink. The old man sitting at the plaintiff's table was named Walter Green, 72 years old. Grease stains still buried into the cracks of his hands after 50 years fixing cars in Brooklyn. And according to him, Vanessa Holloway destroyed his entire life. Not because of an accident, not because of a lawsuit, because of a lie, a very expensive lie. Vanessa leaned back in her chair confidently. Her white designer blazer probably cost more than Walter's monthly rent. Everything about her screamed wealth. The polished nails, the gold watch, the perfectly rehearsed smirk. She looked completely relaxed, like she already knew she'd win. But then Judge Judy picked up a photograph from the evidence folder. And her entire expression changed. "What is this?" Judge Judy asked quietly. For the first time all morning, Vanessa stopped smiling, and what happened next shocked the entire courtroom. Walter Green had spent most of his life under cars, not behind desks, not in boardrooms, not on yachts like the woman accusing him of fraud. He owned a tiny auto shop called Green's Auto Repair. Small brick building, 2 lifts. One faded sign outside that hadn't been replaced since the late 90s. But people trusted him, especially older customers. He was known for charging less than everybody else and refusing to scam people for unnecessary repairs. Which was exactly why Vanessa Holloway targeted him. At least that's what Walter believed. 3 months earlier, Vanessa brought her black luxury SUV into his shop, claiming the brakes felt strange. Walter inspected the vehicle himself. He replaced worn brake pads, rotated the tires, ran diagnostics, and gave the SUV back the same day. Total bill, $480 Sybil. Routine to done. Or so he thought. 2 days later, Vanessa's lawyers contacted him. They claimed the brakes failed while she was driving through Manhattan with her 8-year-old son in the back seat. According to the lawsuit, Vanessa nearly crashed into a delivery truck and suffered emotional trauma because Walter negligently repaired her vehicle. But that wasn't the worst part. The lawsuit also claimed Walter intentionally falsified repair records, fraud, negligence, endangering a child. Within days, online reviews destroyed his business. One viral social media post called him a dangerous scam mechanic who almost killed a mother and child. Customers stopped coming. Walter lost contracts. His insurance company dropped him, and after 47 years in business, he was days away from shutting his shop down forever. Judge Judy looked over her glasses. "So let me understand this," she said. "You're suing him for emotional damages and negligence." Vanessa nodded dramatically. "My son still has nightmares." Walter looked sick hearing that. Judge Judy turned toward him. "You deny all of this?" "Yes, Mom," Walter said quietly. "Those brakes were fine when that vehicle left my shop." Vanessa scoffed loudly. "Oh, please." Judge Judy immediately snapped her head toward her. "You don't oh please me, lady." The audience murmured. Vanessa forced a smile. "Sorry, Your Honor." "You're not in criminal court, and I'm not Your Honor." Judge Judy fired back. "But you will answer my questions respectfully." Vanessa's jaw tightened. Walter explained that he'd personally test-driven the SUV before returning it. No issues, no warning lights, no brake problems. Judge Judy asked the obvious question. "Then why would she accuse you?" Walter hesitated because even saying it sounded insane. "She wanted money." Vanessa burst out laughing again. "This is pathetic." Judge Judy ignored her. Walter swallowed hard. Her lawyers demanded $300,000 before they even filed anything publicly. The courtroom reacted instantly. Vanessa rolled her eyes dramatically. "That's called a settlement negotiation." Judge Judy narrowed her eyes. You demanded $300,000 from a mechanic with one repair shop. Vanessa shifted slightly. My attorneys handled that. That wasn't my question. Vanessa's confidence flickered for the first time. Judge Judy stared at the paperwork. Then she looked at Walter again. Did you inspect the vehicle after the alleged brake failure? Walter nodded. Yes, Mom. That's when things stopped making sense. Judge Judy leaned forward. What do you mean? Walter opened a folder with shaking hands. Inside were photographs, close-up images of shredded brake lines. Cut clean through, not snapped, not worn down. The courtroom went silent again. Judge Judy picked up one of the photos slowly, then another, then another. These were submitted by you? Yes, Mom. And who inspected the vehicle? 3 independent mechanics. Vanessa suddenly interrupted. That proves nothing. The lines were damaged during the failure. Walter looked at her for the first time. No, they weren't. Something in his voice changed, not anger, pain. You know they weren't. Vanessa's face hardened. Judge Judy looked between them carefully. And suddenly, case stopped feeling like a simple repair dispute. Mrs. Holloway, Judge Judy said carefully, when exactly did this brake incident occur? Vanessa answered immediately. Tuesday evening, around 7. And when was the vehicle returned to you? Monday afternoon. Judge Judy nodded slowly. Then she looked down at another document. What's this valet receipt? Vanessa froze. Only for a second, but everybody saw it. Judge Judy held up the paper. This says your SUV was parked overnight at the Regent Grand Hotel Monday night into Tuesday morning. Vanessa crossed her arms tighter. So? Judge Judy's eyes sharpened. So your vehicle was apparently handled by hotel valet staff after leaving his repair shop. Vanessa immediately became defensive. That has nothing to do with anything. Maybe it does. Vanessa leaned forward aggressively. Are you seriously suggesting hotel valets sabotaged my brakes? No, Judge Judy said calmly. I'm suggesting somebody touched the vehicle after it left his possession. The audience murmured louder. Vanessa looked irritated now, not confident, irritated. Walter sat quietly while Judge Judy continued reviewing documents. Then she stopped again. There's also surveillance footage? Walter nodded slowly. Vanessa's eyes widened instantly. Judge Judy noticed. What's wrong, Mrs. Holloway? Nothing. You suddenly look nervous. I'm not nervous. Judge Judy held up the evidence request form. This says your attorney attempted to block footage from being entered. Vanessa quickly spoke over her. Because it's irrelevant. Walter finally spoke again. It's from the hotel garage. Now even the audience leaned forward. Judge Judy looked interested. What does it show? Walter swallowed. A man near the front wheel area of her SUV around 2:13 in the morning. Vanessa immediately exploded. This is ridiculous. Judge Judy slammed her pen down. You will control yourself. Vanessa's breathing changed, fast now, tight. Judge Judy stared directly at her. Who was the man? Walter answered before Vanessa could. Her boyfriend. The courtroom erupted. Vanessa's face drained completely. Judge Judy raised a hand for silence. You identified him? Walter nodded. He posted pictures online with her constantly. Easy to recognize. Vanessa suddenly looked furious. This is turning into character assassination. Judge Judy didn't care. Did the boyfriend testify? Walter shook his head. He disappeared. Vanessa snapped toward him. You don't know what you're talking about. But Walter reached into his folder again. And this time, his hands were trembling, not from fear, from heartbreak. Judge Judy noticed immediately. What is it? Walter stared down at the paper before answering. My daughter worked for her. The courtroom became silent all over again. Vanessa slowly looked away. Walter continued carefully. My daughter Emily was her personal assistant for 3 years. Judge Judy's expression softened slightly. And? Walter's voice cracked. She died last year. Even Vanessa stopped moving. Walter struggled to continue. Cancer. The courtroom atmosphere changed instantly. No more gossip energy, no more entertainment. Just grief. Judge Judy's tone became gentler. I'm sorry. Walter nodded weakly. Emily trusted her, worked late nights. Missed treatment sometimes because Mrs. Holloway said she was indispensable. Vanessa looked uncomfortable now. Walter pulled out an old photo, a smiling young woman standing beside him in the repair shop. She was all I had. Judge Judy remained quiet. Then Walter said something that changed everything. 3 weeks before Emily died, she warned me about her. Vanessa immediately spoke. This has nothing to do with the case. Judge Judy snapped back instantly. I'll decide that. Walter looked directly at Vanessa. My daughter found out about insurance scams. Vanessa's composure shattered for the first time. That's a lie. Walter ignored her. She said wealthy people staged incidents for settlements through connected lawyers and private doctors. Judge Judy's eyes narrowed sharply. Walter continued. Emily was terrified after she found documents she wasn't supposed to see. Vanessa slammed her hands on the table. This is insane! Judge Judy's voice cut through the courtroom like a knife. Sit down. Vanessa slowly sat, humiliated. Judge Judy turned back to Walter. Did your daughter keep any records? Walter nodded slowly. And then he revealed the thing nobody expected. She mailed me a flash drive before she died. The entire courtroom exploded with whispers. Vanessa looked genuinely panicked now. Not irritated. Panicked. Judge Judy leaned forward. What's on it? Walter stared at Vanessa. Emails. Settlement discussions. Fake injury plans. Vanessa immediately stood again. This is fabricated. Judge Judy pointed sharply. Sit down. Vanessa obeyed this time barely. Walter handed the bailiff the flash drive. Judge Judy reviewed printed copies already submitted into evidence. And the more she read, colder her face became. One email mentioned another easy mechanical negligence payout. Another discussed sympathetic jury optics involving children. And then Judge Judy found the message that changed the entire courtroom. It was from Vanessa herself. Make sure the repair guy looks old and careless. Juries love emotional negligence stories. The audience gasped loudly. Walter closed his eyes. Vanessa looked like she couldn't breathe. Judge Judy removed her glasses slowly. Did you write this? Vanessa stuttered. It's being taken out of context. No, Judge Judy interrupted. I asked if you wrote it. Silence. Vanessa's attorney looked miserable. Finally, yes. Judge Judy stared at her in disbelief. You used your child as part of a fraudulent settlement scheme? It wasn't fraud. Judge Judy cut her off hard. Don't insult my intelligence. The audience burst into applause before being silenced. Vanessa's perfect image was collapsing in real time. But Judge Judy wasn't done. Why target him? Vanessa looked exhausted now. Defeated. Then something unexpected happened. She started crying. Real tears. Not dramatic ones. Messy ones. My husband left me. The courtroom grew quiet again. Vanessa wiped her face angrily. You think rich people can't lose everything? Judge Judy remained expressionless. Vanessa laughed bitterly through tears. The house wasn't really mine. The cars weren't really mine. My husband handled everything. She pointed weakly toward Walter. I was drowning. Walter stared at her silently. Vanessa's voice cracked harder. I owed money everywhere, staff salaries, school tuition, loans. Judge Judy folded her arms. So you decided to destroy a mechanic? Vanessa cried harder. I didn't think it would go this far. Walter finally spoke. You closed my shop. That hit harder than yelling ever could. Vanessa covered her mouth. Walter's voice trembled. My wife and I built that place together. He paused. She died 10 years ago. Nobody moved. That garage is all I had left of her. Vanessa looked completely broken now. But then Judge Judy asked one final question, and it changed everything again. What happened to your daughter's assistant position after she died? Walter frowned slightly. What? Judge Judy looked at the employment records. Emily was still listed on payroll for 2 months after her death. Vanessa's eyes widened in horror. Judge Judy held up the documents. Someone continued cashing her checks. Walter looked stunned. What? Vanessa whispered something under her breath. Judge Judy caught it. Speak up. Vanessa looked like she wanted to disappear. My accountant handled payroll. Judge Judy's eyes became ice cold. And where is this accountant now? No answer. Judge Judy stared at her. Mrs. Holloway, did somebody steal money using your deceased employee's identity? Walter looked devastated. Vanessa started shaking. I didn't know. Judge Judy didn't buy it. But before she could continue, Walter suddenly realized something. Slowly, painfully. My daughter wasn't warning me about scams. Judge Judy looked at him carefully. Walter's eyes filled with tears. She was trying to protect me. The courtroom became completely silent. Walter looked destroyed by the realization. She knew they were planning something. Vanessa cried openly now. I never meant for her to get involved. Walter looked at her with pure heartbreak. She trusted you. No anger, no screaming, just disappointment, and somehow that hurt more. Judge Judy let the silence sit for several seconds. Then she delivered the ruling. Mrs. Holloway, this court finds your claims completely without merit. Vanessa lowered her head. Judge Judy continued. You knowingly pursued a fraudulent negligence accusation against a small business owner for financial gain. Every word hit like a hammer. You damaged his reputation, interfered with his livelihood, and submitted evidence this court finds highly questionable. Vanessa cried silently. Judge Judy wasn't finished. I am dismissing your claims entirely. Walter closed his eyes in relief, but then Judge Judy added, and based on the evidence presented, I find in favor of Mr. Green's countersuit for defamation and economic damages. The courtroom erupted again. Vanessa looked stunned. Judge Judy announced the judgment amount. $25,000. Vanessa covered her face. Walter looked shocked himself. But Judge Judy leaned forward one final time. And frankly, if this weren't small claims court, I suspect your problems would be much bigger. Nobody breathed. Judge Judy looked directly at Vanessa. You came in here believing money made you powerful. She pointed toward Walter. But character matters when everything else disappears. Vanessa cried harder. Judge Judy turned toward Walter. Mr. Green, your daughter sounded like a brave young woman. Walter broke down completely. The audience applauded softly. Even the bailiff looked emotional. Judge Judy nodded respectfully toward him. I think she'd be proud of you today. Walter wiped his eyes. For a moment, the entire courtroom forgot about lawsuits and evidence and money. It became something else. A grieving father finally defending the last thing his daughter tried to save. As the case ended, Vanessa stood silently gathering her expensive purse with shaking hands. But before she walked out, Walter said something nobody expected. I forgive you. The courtroom froze. Vanessa turned slowly. Walter's eyes were red with tears. But you need to tell your son the truth someday? Vanessa started sobbing again, not because she lost. Because for the first time all day, someone treated her like a human being instead of a monster. Judge Judy watched quietly as Vanessa walked out of the courtroom completely shattered. Then she looked toward Walter. You reopening the shop? Walter gave a weak smile. Tomorrow morning. Judge Judy smiled slightly. Good. Walter picked up the old photograph of his daughter before leaving, and as he walked out of the courtroom, audience stood up for him. Not because he won money, not because Vanessa lost, but because everybody in that room understood the same thing. Some people spend their whole lives trying to look important, while others quietly become unforgettable.